Okay, now I want to talk about finding slope using a formula. Okay, so you can also find the slope of a line algebraically. Alright, so we did it graphically, now let's do it using the formula. So the formula, m is slope, is, remember, it's change in y over change in x. Now when you're finding change in y, that's the distance. Remember, when we did it graphically, we were counting the vertical distance and the horizontal distance. Well, now, if you can remember, when we did in Unit 1 the distance between 2 points, that was when we subtracted them. So we're going to find the difference in our y-coordinates. A lot of books will put it this way: y2 minus y1 and x2 minus x1. Now personally, I actually do it the opposite way. I call this my point 1 and this my point 2, and I do y1 minus y2 and x1 minus x2. It doesn't matter which way you go as long as you're consistent. I might actually go ahead and show you both ways. Okay, so what this means here is these little subscripts, 2 and 1, that's point 1 and point 2. So this is, we're going to call this point 1, x value from 1, y value from 1, and x value from 2, and y value from 2, point 2. Okay, so the 1 means I'm using this as point 1, and the subscript 2 means I'm calling this point 2. Okay, so I'm going to go according to this formula, but this is actually not the way I'm doing it, so hopefully I won't mess it up. y2, 4, minus y1, negative 5. Now, because it's minus and that's negative, this is going to become plus, so be careful. Alright, x2, so x2, negative 1, minus x1. Okay, so I get 4 and 5 is 9, and this is negative 3. And so when I divide here, I actually get my slope is negative 3. Alright, and I'm going to do it one more time just because I want to show you the way I always do it, and I want to show you that you'll get the same answer. Again, what matters is that you're consistent with your direction. So personally, I like to go left to right, so I do y1 minus y2, so negative 5 minus 4. And if I took negative 5 first, I'm going to take 2 first, so 2 minus negative 1. That becomes negative 9, and that becomes positive 3. And again, I got the exact same answer. I got my slope was negative 3. So it didn't matter which direction you went. What mattered is that you were consistent. If you go left to right, you got to go left to right the second time. If you do right to left, you got to go right to left the second time. So be consistent. Just one last thing that I want to say before I go on. If this was a really important assessment, let's say we're doing an SOL, or you really want to get that A and you don't want to miss any questions on the unit assessment, I would strongly recommend actually doing both. I've shown you 2 methods now. Algebraically would be with a formula, but if I was given points and I didn't want to do it algebraically, or if I wanted to check it, I could then do it like we did graphically. I could take those 2 coordinates, 2, negative 5 and negative 1, 4, graph them, and make sure that I get negative 3. Okay, if I get the same slope, both algebraically and graphically, then I'm feeling really good about my answer. If I get 2 different things, hopefully I take a closer look and figure out where my mistake is.